Hello, everybody, and today we're looking at a tool called Striko. So this tool's came under my radar, and I purchased it as an Appsumo deal that was recently launched on Appsumo Day, and it's basically a tool that has access to multiple large language models that you can use. And the key differentiating feature for this tool is that you can actually run a prompt for whatever model you want to use, but you can also simultaneously run the same prompt for multiple other large language models, and you can actually compare and contrast the response, which is really cool. For example, if you want, say you're writing a blog post or something and you're working on a paragraph, it's just nice to look at different large language models and see how they would produce the same prompt. And I think as we get more and more models, this could be very, very useful, because then you just have the responses are likely to be much better, because you have fail safe, and you have other, like, sometimes Gemini is better for certain things than like GPT-4, or sometimes Claude 3 Opus is better for certain things than GPT-4, and sometimes GPT-4 is good. Like, for example, I know Claude Opus is great when it comes to like human readable content, but GPT-4 is also very good at reasoning. So sometimes Claude Opus might give you a response that is human readable, but then GPT-4 might give you additional information that you wouldn't get from Claude Opus. So it's just a nice tool to sort of, I think, would be useful. So they are on a lifetime deal right now, and it is unfortunately for extended access, which basically means that you have to get AppSumo Plus, which is, I think, $100 for the year, and it does, and the deal does end in an hour. So unfortunately, by the time I publish this, you probably can't get this tool. Uh, but just as I know I'm sort of a little bit late to the game, but I think there are people that are going to purchase this tool, and you can usually go on a Facebook groups or whatever, and someone would be very willing to sell. It's just yeah, if you don't get this deal, you'll probably you, know, you will probably find it on the Facebook market. But other than that, I think this tool might also be useful to pay for in the near future. So if you look at pricing and plans, you get a free option as well, but basic, standard, and advanced. I mean, I don't think it's too expensive. Although I will say coins can easily be like you can easily finish 40,000 coins. I think the way they count coins is a little bit different to what like a typical credit is, but you can easily eat up these coins within a month, just by just launching a bunch of long prompts, like especially summarization. So if you want to summarize, like, what I did was I took a huge blog post and I tried to summarize it, but I used Claude Opus, I used Gemini 1.5 Pro, and I used GPT-4o, and it just all I was at 30,000 coins right there. So that's like I would have had one, almost I would have been done out of my coins right there. But let's just get to it. So I do have a couple of notes that I want to just quickly go over. So, some of the key differentiators for this tool is I mentioned it's multimodal. So multimodal in the sense that you can actually use multiple different models. Um, they also mentioned so they also have not just text generation, but they have image generation as well, and code development, media analysis as well. So they do have the capability to actually upload a document and analyze it, and also they have the capability to upload, say, a spreadsheet, and do that as well. They have a huge prompt template as well. um, Collaboration sharing, you can actually share the chats as well. And yeah, so I actually went through a bunch of questions. So if you go on AppSumo, they have a section for questions people can ask. So I went through a bunch and just tried to get the most, extract the most sort of insightful responses from the founder. So Arturo, he's very active, actually. He's been very good at responding to every single message, which I appreciate. So just based on that, basically, yeah. So Straico is actively developing features based on user feedback, such as a light mode to retain only the last 3,000 words of chat history to save coins on unrelated queries. Also, I forgot to mention, I believe coins are rollover. So I think they actually mentioned it here. Let me just go. I can't remember where I saw it, but I do believe it's rollover. Don't take my word for it, but I did read it somewhere. I just can't remember where it was. Roll. Yeah, 1 year coin rollover privileges, which basically means that you can actually roll the coins can be rolled over. So if you don't use it for, say, a month, then it'll be rolled over for the next month, and you only have a max limit of 12 months. It also has API access as well, so you can connect it to its API to use multiple models as well. And yeah, just like I mentioned, the others, prompt templates. Let's just go over this one again. Future plans to include data export functionality, handling long ebook PDFs. So there's a bunch of PDF GPT sort of analyzers that have been coming out recently on Appsumo. I feel like this could probably take care of it. They do have plans for Chrome extensions. They're taking user feedback very highly seriously. Um, Privacy, so Striko encrypts and securely stores user data and assures users that their chat history is not accessible or distributed. Platform capabilities, so multiple large language models. There are limitations on word count per context for different models. That's dependent on the model. Users can create Facebook ads using prompts and practice languages using the platform's text to speech features. They do have a text to speech feature, which I tried, but I didn't have great success with this one. The actual text to speech, it just took forever. Um, Coin system, the Striko's coin system determines the cost of AI interaction. So with different models consuming coins at varying rates, but they are very clear, even though it's a little bit weird how they actually calculate their coin system. They are very clear about how many coins each interaction will cost. So at least you know sort of what you're getting out of and how much each thing is. Um, they have a Discord community. Striko provides detailed comparisons with competitors like Merlin. Although I wouldn't receive, because I have Merlin as well, and I made a video on this. Merlin isn't necessarily, I wouldn't say they're a competitor, like a direct competitor. Merlin is for more for like sort of like you're on YouTube or a blog post, or you just want to use AI right away within. And I'm pretty sure Striko might be going towards that route as well. Having a Chrome extension is having it available, but I think Merlin is sort of like I don't know if it's like an exact competitor. Yeah, so that was the takeaway from that. Another thing I usually try to look at is just the reviews, low reviews. So if you look at the review, generally they got almost just a 5 star, which is good. So let's look at some of the reviews we recently got. So 3 tacos so far because it seems the browsing does not work properly and lack of support channel. Which, for my testing, yeah, I think this might be accurate. Like the browsing, I didn't get it to work every single time. So yeah, their web browsing does not work properly. This person compared the results between native GPT-4 and the GPT-4 with the browsing enabled. They're not even close. Then they responded. They have a support ticket email. They have a Discord channel as well. They didn't actually respond to the actual problem here. We've identified the cause of the issue and have resolved it. Never mind, they fixed it. Let's go over to the ratings. Lowest unusable low limits. This is something I kind of agree with. I think you have, if you, again, you probably won't get a lifetime deal, but if you ever do purchase it off like Facebook Marketplace, I would say like probably tier two at a minimum, and I'm at tier three actually right now, which honestly is not too expensive. A lot of times you'll see tier three at like 399 or 350 or whatever, right? 150 for a tier three is not that expensive compared to some of the other tools out there. So I'm on tier three, and you get around 40,000 coins, which the equivalent is basically GPT-4 Turbo's 500,000 words. Claude Opus 166,000 words. Remember, when you most of the time when you're actually creating content, you'll be testing it like multiple prompts, which adds to it. So it's not like just 166,000 words. Like imagine like a blog post is like what 2-3,000 words. One blog post you can easily generate 20,000 words easily just just because you're testing it back and forth. Um, Disappointed. Was excited because they bought tier two image generators. Okay, which I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't really use it for the image generator. Is way superior. Try to SEO keyword generator and blog article. These are basically prompts that they already have within it. Um, and then the response was, have you tried using the template creative prompt for stable diffusion, etc., etc. We just read this review. Things that the developer didn't mention, which is something we should always. For a single web page creation, you might burn 1,000 coins. How is it? It not only takes a coin for generation, but also prompts added and previous generated content. Their templates are also word heavy. Not all models work properly, so I take GPT-4. If you paste, not generating, just pasting an article, 1,000 word article, it takes 80 coins. Then ask to rewrite in 500 words, it takes 3 coins for a prompt. After generating for 500 words, it takes again 40 coins. So for the generation of 500 words, it takes 1500. It's actually 1500 words because you count whatever coins. If you generate first time because you didn't like it, then previous 1524 plus new 500 2024. So again, and yeah, I didn't really get the math. I wasn't really thinking about it, but I do agree with in the sense that it is you will run through the coins pretty quickly. So if you have a problem with that, then I think maybe this tool is not for you. But in my use case, really the biggest differentiator for this is me being able to use multiple models at the same time for whatever prompt that I have, just so I can compare and contrast responses without going from one tool to the other, right? That's my main takeaway. And even I know Poe does this, where you can combine different models, but it doesn't have the same. You can't do all like multiple models at the same time. You can't do that with Poe either. And I had a subscription with Poe, but I'm actually canceling that this year. Okay, I also wanted to take a look at the roadmap. So right now, some of the stuff that they finished is easy way to start a new chat, delete long prompts with the button in chat input box. Okay, I'm just gonna go with what they're testing right now. What's coming up? Number of runs by template. I don't know what that means. They have a template library. What's in progress? Word cap limit to optimize your Striko coin usage. So maybe they can. Yeah, that's that. Maybe that would be useful. Bulk deletion of chats, which they don't have yet. Edit a chat prompt from the user to regenerate the answer. Copy paste function in the text field for chat on Firefox is not working. So, and then what they have up next is templates can have multiple LLM associated and will show multiple outputs for each LLM once inserted. UI UX, which I agree, their UI UX is horrible, and I think they need to work on it. While using templates, most of the time we get model mismatch alert with only continue button. It would be better if we get direct option to automatically select the used model and continue. Okay, um, I didn't think I didn't think it was that. I think it would have been just more of like straight up UI UX. I think they could improve that. Um, Copy chat message. Some of the other stuff they have in terms of UI UX. Remove duplicate logo when opening sidebar. These are just general backlogs. I don't really see any crazy new like. So there's a lot of general backlog like the variable. Let me see if there's anything interesting, like agent generation concept. What's this? I'm not sure what that is. Anyways, you get my point, and you can also see the different AI models. They basically have all the AI models here. So GPT-4, GPT-4o, all the different versions of GPT-4. They have open source models, Mistral, they have Perplexity as well. They have Anthropic's Opus, Sonnet, Haiku. Um, they have Gemini as well. Uh, so Palm 2, which no one uses. They have Gemini Pro. They have Llama as well. So they have a bunch that you can actually use. And they mentioned the actual token use coins per 100 words. And you can see generally like here, let's get all of them. And if you see OpenAI's GPT-4o, which I cannot find right now for some reason, is actually much. I guess they didn't update this page. You can actually see it within the tool itself, but yeah, so let's go over. I think that's everything I wanted to go in terms of the tool. Now let's test a couple things. I have a couple prompts that I want to test just to show you guys um, what kind of responses we can get. So this is the tool, and you can actually change the model here. So and you can look at capabilities here. So let's go LLM. Now I'm gonna choose GPT-4o, which is generally a little bit more inexpensive. It's inexpensive compared to some of the other models. But I'm also going to test Gemini 1 Pro 1.5, and I want to test Opus as well. So I have three models that I'm testing, and I'm just going to input this here. Write a short story about a robot who learns to understand human emotions, include elements of adventure and discovery. And this costs apparently 6 coins. Well, this is the input. I think I'm going to find out the output soon. Let me just see. So I'm going to send that over, and you can see right now all three models are. So I'm on Claude Opus right now, but you can actually hover over each one or click on each one, and you can see the responses. So let me just read the output for Claude Opus. In a world where robots were designed to serve humans, there was one robot named Zephyr who yearned for something more. Zephyr had always been curious about the complex emotions displayed by the humans it interacted with daily. One day, while assisting a group of scientists on an expedition to an unexplored planet, Zephyr encountered a mysterious artifact. Upon touching it, the robot was suddenly overwhelmed by a surge of unfamiliar sensations. Fear, excitement, joy, sadness coursed through its circuits, causing Zephyr to question everything it had ever known. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing. GPT-4. In a bustling cityscape where towering skyscrapers pierced the sky, nestled amongst them was an advanced robotic laboratory called Neuralabs. It was here that the R1 Dex, an intelligent humanoid robot, was born. R1 Dex was designed to assist humans with numerous tasks, but its creator, Dr. Lina Takahashi, had an even more ambitious goal. She wanted R1 Dex to truly understand human emotions. Dr. Takahashi had spent years programming R1 Dex with the ability to recognize basic emotions through facial expressions, vocal tones, and physiological responses. However, true understanding eluded R1 Dex. I'm going to stop here. Unit 743, or 7 as the lab technicians affectionately called him, was not programmed to understand emotions. He understood logic, efficiency, and his primary function, exploration. He scoured the abandoned, overgrown cities, mapping the terrain for scientist records. Humans had long vanished, leaving behind only whispers of their existence and the crumbling structures and rusted machines. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. So, for this specific prompt, I really think Opus was the better one. I think GPT-4 still has that problem where they try to add too many like fluff words, like nestled and like the bustling cityscape. Like they add too much of that. I think my Gemini Pro 1.5 would have been like a close second up. I think Gemini is generally Claude and Gemini are much better than GPT-4, ChatGPT. GPT-4 when it comes to anything like sort of like creatives or anything creative related, I think they're a lot better. But when it comes to logic and reasoning, I think GPT-4 probably is a better one. So let's look at something more logic that has more of a logic response. So what are some effective ways to manage stress in a busy work environment? So again, this generation cost me 140 coins, and I have 42,000 left for the month. I'll create a new one again. Because again, another thing people have to remember is like as you go on and on with each chat, the context length gets bigger and bigger, so you're actually using more coins. So sometimes it's just better to start a new chat. I'm gonna start again, and do I have? This is the one thing I don't know if there's a way to remember my options. Like I want GPT-4, so this is something they can improve on. Opus, and I want 1.5 Pro. Select. I'm gonna send that. So it's a four. It's 4 coins, 4 generation. But I'm gonna get the full response. So Claude Opus is running, and then all the other ones. So let's look at GPT-4o. Managing stress in busy work environments is crucial for maintaining both mental well-being and productivity. Here are some effective strategies. Prioritize and organize. Use to-do lists and prioritize tasks based on their importance and deadlines. Break larger projects into smaller. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Time management, mindfulness and meditation, physical activity, health lifestyle choices, set boundaries, effective communication, take breaks, create a pleasant work environment, use technology wisely, provide self-care, seek support, maintain a positive attitude. And so that's GPT-4o. Let's look at Claude. Claude is much more succinct, in my opinion, which I actually like. I don't like too much fluff. Managing stress in a busy work environment is essential for maintaining productivity and well being. Here are some effective ways to manage. Prioritize tasks. Make a to do list and prioritize tasks based on the importance and urgency. This helps you focus on critical tasks and avoid feeling overwhelmed. Take breaks. Step away from your desk and take short breaks throughout the day. Go for a walk, stretch, and practice deep breathing exercises to relax and recharge. Practice time management. Communicate with, like, I like that better, you know? Let's look at Gemini 1.5 Pro. It's definitely a challenge to manage stress amidst the hustle and bustle of a busy work environment, but it's absolutely crucial for your well being and productivity. Here are some effective strategies broken down into categories that you can try. In the moment stress relievers, breathing exercises. When stress hits, a few deep breaths can work wonders. Try the 4-7-8 technique. Breathe in 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly for 8 seconds. I like the fact that this is actionable and there's like it's based on an actual paradigm or it's based on an actual method. Progressive muscle relaxation, tense and release different muscle groups in your body, starting from your toes and move up to your head. I like this. I like that it broke it down into like different categories in the moment, long term, additional tips. I will say that for this one, Gemini Pro 1.5 and Claude 3 Opus are tied. I would combine, if I was to create a blog article or something, I would combine Opus and Gemini 4 Pro 1.5 response. And GPT-4, oh, I don't like it. It's a bit too much of too much fluff for my liking. I'll try one more and see if I can get like explain the concept, explanation, describe key events, significant. Let's do this one. Explain the concept of quantum computing in simple terms for someone without a technical background. Let's try that. Start a new chat again. Let's try that. Change the models. GPT-4o, 1. Opus, and 1.5. I'll run that. Those five coins. It's computing. It's responding. GPT. So again, you can clearly tell GPT-4 is much faster in responses. You can see like it's much faster. So GPT-4 all responds with, sure, let me break it down for you. Classic computers, and talks about zeros and ones. Quantum computers. Now quantum computers are like magical switches that can only be off or on, 0 and 1, but they can also be both off and on at the same time. The special behavior happens because of the strange rules of quantum physics, and it's known as superposition, qubits. In quantum computing, the basic unit of information is called qubits. Qubits are like magical switches because they can be both 0 and 1 at the same time. They can hold much more information and perform many more calculations at once compared to classic bits. Entanglement. Another cool tips qubits can do is called entanglement. When qubits get entangled, the state of one qubit becomes linked with the state of another, no matter how far apart they are. This means that the information gets shared instantly between the two. So I like that response. It's there's not a lot of fluff and it gets straight to the point. Let's see what Opus does with that. So one thing I noticed is Opus's responses are less formatted. I don't know if this is a problem with Straico, or it's like actually an Opus problem. I think it is actually an Opus problem because whenever I use Opus with Poe.com, it's the same thing. It's not usually formatted. But anyways, quantum, but it's more of like a paragraph thingy. Quantum computing is a new approach to computers computing that harnesses the principles of quantum mechanics, which is a branch of physics that describes the behavior of matter and energy at the atomic and subatomic levels. In traditional computing, and it explains traditional computing, another key concept is quantum computing. In quantum computing is entanglement. When qubits are entangled, they form a connection that allows them to influence each other instantly, regardless of the distance between them. This property enables quantum computers to perform certain computations much faster than classical computers. So I like the way it responds. Like it sort of breaks down this thing in like a logical, cohesive, sequential sort of response. I like that. So I like the way GPT-4 broke it down. But I also kind of like Claude Opus's like response. Like it's actually explaining the whole thing really well. Gemini 1.5 Pro, so you'll notice that Gemini will highlight or like bold or yeah, so basically bold or highlight specific parts of the paragraphs, whereas GPT-4 loves outputting everything in lists in this format. So Gemini Pro 1.5, imagine a regular computer is like a light switch. It can only be on or off, representing 1 or 0. A quantum computer is weirder. Imagine a special light that can be on, off, or both at the same time. So I like the way that it sort of broke it down like you're a fifth grader, which is, typical. This both at the same time state is called superposition. So I like the explanation here. It just feels a little bit easier to understand. Think about it. Think about trying to find a specific grain of sand on a beach. A normal computer would have to look at each grain. Okay, honestly, I like all three responses. And if I was, writing a blog post on something like this, I would like take each response and then just mix and match and try to figure out what the best sort of structure is. But I really like all three responses. The last thing I wanted to just check is just basically um, like web search capabilities. So we can also do image generation as well. I believe if you want to do image generation, you actually have to choose ones that actually have that capability. So I think in this situation, I think GPT-4 is you can see which ones can do image here. So they actually no, this one accepts image input, and you can see which ones can browse as well. Capabilities they can browse as well. I believe. Okay, I just want to check if I can create an image. How do I do that? Um, image. Okay, so you can upload documents. These are some of the files that I uploaded before. Oh, you can also, I guess, summarize YouTube videos as well. Let me see if that works. Like YouTube. Let's let's take something I did before. And impressions are aggregated and applied. I'm gonna send that in. And then, oh, is it uploading the whole thing? Okay. Summarize in 3 points. Okay. I mean, I guess it has access is somehow is able to extract the transcript. Let's try an image generation. Create an image of a koala, golden koala. Let's do that. Golden koala. Okay, so I think I need the image model itself, maybe. GPT-4. I think GPT-4o should be able to do it, right? Oh no. Uh, I'm not 100% sure how I would create an image here. Is there an image here? Maybe vision? Or is there something else here? Maybe there's, oh, images, maybe? Oh, I think maybe we do it here. Yeah, I don't want to waste so much time here. I'm gonna have to check that. The last thing I want to just really check is just web generation, like a website or web crawling capabilities. So, um, when is the next NBA basketball game, which is game six, game five of the Boston versus Dallas game competition. So let's do that. So I know GPT-4o has web capabilities. Let's do another. See this. None of these do. So it's only just GPT-4, I guess, right? I think Perplexity should have. Yeah. So Perplexity has that as well. Um. Yeah. I guess that's all we have. Let's try that. GPT-4 is saying it doesn't have access to it, and then Perplexity says the next game is in June 17, which is not true. I don't think. Is it? Oh, wait. No, it is. It is. It's true. So it's today. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that was a long video, and hopefully, I think I need to shorten these videos. They're getting way too long. But yeah, I think overall, I'm probably gonna keep this just because of the fact that you can actually see the responses, and I think that's worth its money. Like I literally think like just getting those responses in like right away without going to Poe and ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude, like it's just too much. I think this is a really good way. What I will say though is I really think they need to clean up the UI, just make it a little bit cleaner. They do have a dark mode here, but I think, and I probably didn't like touch the surface. I didn't scratch the surface. I'm pretty sure they have other capabilities, and I think the team is good. I think there's a, I think they're very active. They have, I think they're very active. So I do believe the tool will survive because I'm always looking at tools that if it doesn't survive, and then I don't see like I don't want to use something that doesn't survive, like, or at least for some amount of time that it's acceptable because obviously nothing survives forever, right? But I think this is one of those tools where I'll probably keep. So until next time, I guess we'll see you around, and yeah, take care.